Good. Good. All right, hey guys, so this is Bandit. He is a Husky Malamute mix and he's here for 1 week. He just needs to learn some manners, needs to walk politely. He's pulling his owners a lot. He's a very, very strong dog, so it's very important for them to get good control over him. And he also has a tendency of jumping on people, but just like high energy, no manners whatsoever, pulls you around. So we're going to start today with prong collar sits, but this is basically first day of obedience training. He's a very stubborn dog, so it's amazing that he's responding to the prong, because at first it took a really long time and he just really didn't want to do it. So very strong-willed dog, but we'll work through it. Good. No words for now. Remember, we want him to get used to the motion. Break. Good. Before we add on the word. We want him to be consistently doing it fast. Good boy. Break. Good. Brief durations when you're just starting off. Very distracted, as you can see. Good. Break. Good boy. Good boy. Break. Good. 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 Good job. Doing it consistently enough that I'm going to start adding another word. Break. Good boy. Sit. Yes. Good boy. Break. Good. Sit. Yes. Good boy. Break. Yes. Good. So something I would like to mention during training sessions is in between every command, I like to move around. It's like a reset for the dog, because if we're just doing standing here, sit, stand up, sit, stand up, it's just kind of different for them. So I also, when I'm moving around at the same time, it's also forcing him to keep paying attention to you, right? Because if he's distracted like this, see, he's paying attention right there. He came with me. Good, good. So all these small, subtle things, you have to take notice. Good, good, good. It's forcing him to pay attention to you every small moment of your training session. So sit. Good. Good. So one small thing to note that I probably should not have done, but I left my cats out. So there's a cat right there. He's staring at him occasionally when we walk by. He's a little bit nervous. He looks a little bit, but he's not fixating, which is what I'm happy about. Another cat's down the hall in the crate room, but that might be why he's staring down there. Sit. Good boy. Good. Good. Another thing that's extremely important is that when I'm walking around, he must be by my side or following me. He should never be in front of me. That is one of the most important things. So actually, maybe I would like to spend some time actually talking about all the small household structures outside of just obedience, because it's very easy to post videos of obedience, right? But I actually feel like when you are working with a dog, it's way more than just obedience. It's about everything in the house. So what I just mentioned, when I'm walking through the house, he has to be next to me. He has to be polite. He has to stay he has to stay on pace with me, which I'm not saying that I'm trying to like walk really slow through my house, but I'm just saying he can't rush in front of me. When he first arrived, and he kind of still does it from time to time, he's going to pull in whatever direction he wants to go in. And he can't be doing that. Any moment that I share with him basically demands for him to be paying attention to me. And having that type of routine will start to have him also respect what I'm asking for, because all of them are non-negotiable. Everything that I do when I'm going outside the house, he has to sit. We're not going to leave the house unless you sit and unless you hold that sit. So these are all small things that change his perception, and it also makes him more polite, right? Because he's being responsive. Like right now, that he's just standing here while I'm talking to the, while I'm just talking to the camera, this is all good stuff. This is all calm behavior, respectful behavior. He's not pulling over there to sniff that, or like he's not pulling towards my cat. He's being respectful right now, which is good. Good. Anytime a dog is behaving well, they should never be feeling pressure from any sort of source. No prong. I'm not holding the e-collar because we're training without the e-collar right now, since we just started. But all of these small things, especially the crate. So he has not been crate trained much at all. But surprisingly, his crate behavior is really good so far. He was very resistant to actually going inside the crate. But once he's inside, he was enforced to be in a down. So that's actually something that I find is very important, because if you don't enforce that, it's very easy for a dog to be overly excited when you are approaching them, let alone trying to let them out. And all of those things are things that you must shut down immediately. So for him, anytime he's in the crate, he must be lying down. I have a camera set up so I can watch him. Anytime he's standing up for prolonged periods of time, I will use the e-collar and I'll tap him to remind him, go back into a down. And another thing, he can stand up and spin around if he wants to reposition, but he can't be standing, staring out, just like doing nothing. When you're in the crate, you're expected to be lying down. His crate has been very good, but I do think all these small things that I mentioned, they contribute to that. So he's behaving well because I'm enforcing a down. I'm also maintaining that. He has to stay in a down when I approach and when I open the door and when I back up and stand up to provide space for him to come out. He can't break out of his down until I say the release word, which is break. I'm gonna try one with no leash and I wanna see what he does. Sit. Good. No. Good. Good. Great. Good. So quick comment there. First off, I asked for the sit no leash, right? It's really early to do that. I just wanted to test him and see. Most likely he heard me, ignored me, maybe not fully understanding what I'm asking for, but also just like not paying attention to me. If there's no pressure this early on in training, he probably has no reason to pay attention to me, right? And then afterwards, once I applied leash pressure because he ignored me, he sat but tried going it down. Anytime a dog does that, lift up. Don't let them physically go into the down. So he struggled a few times. He was like, yeah, I don't want to go in the down, but you just don't let them. Sit. Good boy. No leash pressure at all. Good boy. Very good. Break.